For me, it's a matter of trying to better your life with every opportunity that you have. And I felt and I feel that as long as I'm doing that, then whenever death comes, it comes. I will know that I strive to better myself, along the way.
Now, you were at the Ohio Pen before, right?
Yeah.
How long were you there?
I think we arrived in November of '05.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were at Mansfield before that?
Yes. And Lucasville before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have been locked up one place or another since September of '89, is that right?
Well, that's when actually, I was in prison in '88, '89 for another charge. Okay. And I got out, and in June of '89 is when this nightmare, arrived in my life. And I was on death row at Lucasville, February 1990. So it's been a journey. So
I would assume that you knew a lot of the guys that since were executed.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of friends to execution.
Did you learn anything from that? I mean, seeing people go and knowing, probably reading about them afterward. I mean, what did you gather from that? What was in your mind from that?
It's an interesting experience, to say the least, because when you're, even though you're losing friends, you're still kind of separated from the execution aspect of it, because you're going through your appeals and it's like a long ways off. It's only when you run out of your appeals does the reality of death becomes imminent and real. But losing the friends over the years, it kind of forces you to appreciate your everyday. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the state, is 45 executions, if I remember. I think that's right. I'm not positive. I've covered most of them.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you heard about the clemency and what your first reaction was to it.
Well, interestingly enough, prior to hearing the news, I was expecting the news that day, of course. So I got up and prepared myself, and then I went back to sleep. I was actually having a dream that I had just received the news, and I was being congratulated, and right at that moment the door opened. And the door opened, and when the door opened, it was pretty much the sign that they told me the governor had granted my clemency.
So the door opened for real, not in the dream.
Right. Yeah. The door opened for real, and that's what woke me up. And because I knew that the governor had granted the clemency, is because usually 2 guards have to come into the block. and the warden will usually come into the block to escort you. But when they open your door, that means that you're back to regular status again. So
who came to who came to the door and what did they say?
well, they just opened my door and I had to go downstairs.
Okay.
And the warden was waiting on me, and he just looked at me at first. I was trying to read him, trying to get a read on him, you know, because it could have been, you know, either way. And he just said, the governor has granted your clemency, and he congratulated me and, you know, shook my hand.
And what was the first thought in your head?
It was just a big sigh, a big relief moment, and a finally moment, you know, because I had been waiting for a couple of weeks for him to give his decision. So it was just a big relief. Yeah, and it's just a weight lifted. Yeah. And I think the first thing that came to mind was thank God. And immediately after that, it was it was a relief that I'm such a crybaby. It was a relief that my mom didn't have to lose another child.